of the ministry, the new ministry, Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. How would you describe this?
No, no, it's a welcome development, and we have already applauded it in several fora to say that the ministry is going to enhance the development of the resources in Nigeria. So we also, of course, welcome the new ministers, but that means that we now have three ministers in that transportation purview. We have the aviation ministry, which is this sustained under the new administration, aviation and the airspace development. You also have the transportation, that is traditional ministry, Ministry of Transportation, and then of course this new one now, which is marine and blue economy. So it's like the transportation has been, sort of compartmentalized, as it were.
You see, what we know is that River State is one of the 8 littoral states in the country.
Yes.
And also, what we know is that River State is a member of the Expanded Committee on Sustainable Blue Economy, which was inaugurated by Vice President Yemi Oshibajo in 2022.
Yes.
Now, with this creation of the new ministry, that is the Ministry of Marine, the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. What practical ways can River State adopt to boost revenue that will be accruing? Olisa Bakoba, in a statement, said he has been canvassing for the creation of this ministry for several years. Olisa Bakoba also posited that about 7 trillion naira will be coming to the country from that ministry. This is huge. How can River State get a chunk of this?
Well, I'm even surprised that we are still asking this question now, because this should have been done long time ago. Akwa Ibom State has a ministry of the deep sea ports, which has been running for years now. A ministry. It's not a federal government, just a state government, but it has a ministry, it has a vision, because it has a very wonderful marine ambience. Okay, just like River State does have. River State has 2 ports, on Airport and Port Harcourt ports. So River State is actually a maritime hub, and should have actually have created a ministry in view of the future before now. So, but nevertheless, my people say Osita Adewamo Odewabo, which is to say when it begins to get well today, it is still well on time. So River State should actually create a ministry. I know that marine or maritime is
it's on the exclusive, but again, a lot of people will say the law would not allow us because it's an issue relating to marine and maritime on the exclusive list. You are a lawyer.
No. There is nothing that will prevent the state from creating a ministry.
Okay.
Yes, a ministry can be created to run the affairs of maritime as it can be circumscribed within the state's purview. All right. So what does Akwa Ibom State people do after all? They have a ministry of deep sea ports. They have staff there. They build capacity. They do things that will not, as long as their activities will not contradict or contrast with, the federal, powers or federal functions. Yes, so they do all those things. So we need a ministry that can be a forebearer.
Sorry, I think there was a hole back somewhere. Yes, go ahead now.
Yes, so there is need for a ministry in the state, and in fact, a commissioner and a PAMSEC. And these ones will try to generate jobs around the maritime environment. Even these ferries, the jetties, there are jobs that can be created around there that this ministry should take care of. All right. Then there is this fishery within the state that can be taken care of. You understand? So there's a whole lot that can be done that will not conflict with the federal legislation or the federal agencies. And in fact, if you have a ministry, that ministry will synergize with the federal Ministry of Transport or federal Ministry of Blue Economy. If you don't have a ministry here and that blue economy is there, it will be hanging. You cannot domesticate or appropriate the benefits fully from the federal to the state. So you actually need, and there is no other ministry that can actually do that. It's only a state ministry that you need to create that can properly harness the benefits that are arising from the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy to the states. And this is a maritime hub. So perhaps we have thought about it, about doing a formal proposal to the government to create that ministry, okay, which we will do in the coming days.
But again, you see, one would have expected that River State, understanding that it is one of the 8 littoral states, there's so much to benefit following this. I recall that during the campaigning, one of those who campaigned for the governorship election in River State, Dumolulu Briggs, it spoke extensively on the blue economy and how he was going to work, making sure the blue economy provide a source of employment and revenue for River State. Again, let us begin to look at the comparative advantage um, in River State has in this vast resource.
Yes, the fact that River State has 2 ports, for example, and you have, the opportunities for importation and exportations. You have the opportunities to build and develop businesses around the ports. Is the greatest resource that River State has. That natural ambience and the possibility. In fact, of course, you know that in the recent years, the federal government took steps, or in fact, have earmarked money for development of these seaports. So what River State has to do now is to develop capacity, to build capacity, to be sure that rivers indigenes and rivers inhabitants have the requisite manpower development to be able to manage the resource, the marine resources that will come from that development of these seaports, to ensure that there will be no capital flight when these seaports are developed, that you can have engineers.
All right, so I'm speaking to Barrister Angus Chukuka, and we're looking at the recently established Marine and Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. Of course, this ministry was This is Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt, and you're listening to Point Blank Saturday. Is the second leg of the show. We're looking at the recent move by the federal government in creating the Ministry of Marine and the Blue Economy. And we're asking, how can River State position itself to benefit maximally from from this newly created economy? What are the things that River State government must begin to do? How can those in this sector also provide the needed assistance to the River State government in ensuring that revenues, which has been projected to be huge from this resource, would also trickle down to River State? And we're speaking to someone who has a very deep understanding on this. We're speaking to Barrister Angus Chukwuka, who is of the Admiralty Lawyer Society of Nigeria, and they are into maritime and maritime. So once again, thank you so much, Barrister Angus Chukwuka. Now,
Thank you.
we're looking at practical ways that River State governments can. All right, you're tuned to Super 93.3 FM, and it is Point Blank Saturday. We're still looking at the bold step taken by the federal government in creating a Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. I'm speaking to Barrister Angus Obina Chukwuka, and we're looking at how River State can position itself to ensure that it benefits maximally from this newly created ministry, which a lot of people have said is capable of generating about 7 trillion naira. So once again, thank you so much, Barrister Angus Chukwuka of the Admiralty Lawyers Society of Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shegu, and thank you, listeners.
So again, we are asking, what are the practical steps that River State government can adopt so as to ensure that it benefit from the huge revenue that is likely to come out from this ministry?
Okay, on the large scale, the state should immediately create a ministry of marine and blue economy in the states. This ministry will have a permanent secretary, will have a commissioner, will have other staff. But I guess it's going to be an elaborate. We can do a make. It may not be fully blown up like the Ministry of Transport in the states or Ministry of Agriculture. We can just start a small ministry, create a space, so that I can have working staff whose duty will be a day by day appreciation and harnessing of the situation. All right, so that one is there. But in the event that you cannot immediately create that ministry, you should at least have a standing committee or a group of persons that you can, people who have knowledge of the marine sector. Perhaps you need an input from independent ship owners, some people from that comments from that committee, people from one, at least a person from the academia, civil servant. You need to co-op and then NGO. So you need to have like minimum of a group of 10 who can begin to work immediately to see how they can harness the potentials of that ministry that's been created. This ministry is quite new now. So even some of their workings are not yet clear. But if you have from the state now a body or a group or an establishment that can begin to function and liaise with them at this beginning, so Rivers State will be in the mainstream of taking decisions and deriving benefits from the operations of the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. It's very important. Then the third thing the state can do is to begin to intensify capacity building, which for the Admiralty Lawyer Society of Nigeria is involved in. Rivers inhabitants and indigents should begin to engage in serious capacity building in the area of storage, pilotage, general average, cabotage, seafaring, all of these knowledge areas that form part of the maritime industry. Even cabotage, the terminal operations. Okay, the River State government should deliberately sponsor people to trainings. If the state extends its hands to us, we can collaborate with the state in ensuring proper and adequate training of rivers, indigenous, and inhabitants with certification, because time will come as the ministry is booming and as the industry is booming that if you don't have capacity, you will not be able to operate. There will be capital flight in River State. There will be capital flight. River State will not be, the indigenes themselves will be there, the inhabitants themselves will be there, and things will be happening, and other people will be taking advantage of the benefits that are coming up from the blue economy.
But I'm sorry to cut short. Maybe we just need to even explain how big is this blue economy for River State, and you've said what River State need to begin to do. Again, what are the potential for revenue generation for River State?
It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. You know, the very, very amazing thing about maritime is that, unlike oil and gas, you know, oil and gas is an energy resource that is even contributing to climate change, that is causing a lot of fossil fuel pollutions. Okay, so damage to, the more you explore in oil and gas, the more you put lives in danger, property in danger, atmosphere in danger. Some of those things are not really environmentally friendly. But in marine economy, in blue economy, it is totally different. The sea, you know, it's difficult to explore the sea in a way that is called climate change problems, menaces. So, in other words, you have maximum benefits to be derived from the blue economy with minimal damage to the environment. But in oil and gas, the more you explore in oil and gas, the more it gets unfriendly ecologically. So that's on the side of uh, you know environmental friendliness. On the other side, when the ports and the sea operations are developing, there are some businesses that grow around the ports. A lot of businesses in the area of pilotage, in the area of storage, different persons, different personnel, seafaring.
Hold on. This thing has gone again. Just so long, please. You're listening to Point Black, coming to you from Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. We apologize for that short break. So we're looking at the opportunities that are available in the blue economy following the creation of that special ministry by President Bola Tinubu. And I'm speaking to Barrister Angus Chukwuka, who is the President, Admiralty Law Association of Nigeria, looking at what River State government need to do and how River State government need to position itself to ensure that River State benefits hugely from that very big economy in the marine economy. So, Barrister, before we had that break, you were saying that River State can benefit first in terms of even doing away with fossil fuel and also beginning to create employment opportunities. Talk to us more on that area.
Yeah, so we're saying that there are businesses that grow around the ports and around maritime activities. If the maritime activities are growing, those businesses, the entrepreneurs, There are entrepreneurs. There are professionals in the area of pilotage, in the area of storage, in the area of ship building, in the area of ship maintenance, in the area of supplies, bunkering, who are going to become powerfully empowered financially, who are also going to groom other staff, give employment to other staff as the business grows bigger. So it's going to lead to a station where there will be minimal unemployment persons. Yes, you're going to have a lot of people who are going to be employed around the ports. Even the restaurateurs, those who will sell things that will be supplied to the ship owners or to the ship users, there's a lot. So when people are saying that it will trickle into triples of billions, they are not kidding. There's a lot. The reason you have unemployment in Rivers State so much is because the ports are dry. The ports are not working. So not only that you don't have ship coming, the businesses that will be generated around the ports, okay, are not there because the ships are not coming, because the ports are dead, because the marine activities are not booming. Another important area that the ministry, if a ministry of blue economy is created now, will be tourism. Tourism will be a very, very impactful and lucrative aspect that a ministry of blue economy in Rivers State can deal with. You have all of these jetties and ferries around Rivers State that are not coordinated. They are doing it at a very minimal and pedestrian level with little or no income coming, and there are no foreign patronages. But if you have a proper ministry that is working, people who have real capacity to deal with the situation, to enhance the opportunities there, then you will know that there will be other investment. In fact, there will be private public partnership involved in it. People will struggle to partner with Rivers State government to have a very massive ferry business in Rivers State, to have a very massive tourism, maritime tourism. So these are all the issues that the state can deal with. The way the Rivers State has, made itself docile would, in fact, lead the state to a state of capital flight. As I've said it over and over, Akwa Ibom State is likely going to overtake Rivers State when the chips are down, because Akwa Ibom State
if I may
has a
come in here at
ministry
this
on
point,
ground.
Barrister, if I may
Yes.
come in here, because I know that former Governor Wike promised to constitute a committee. All right, so I was saying that I know that former Governor Wike promised to constitute a committee to look into the Deep Blue project. I'm not aware. I don't know if you know about that committee and what has happened to that committee.
I don't know. And strangely, if there is such a committee, we should know, because in Rivers State now, at least, we are the only society that's mainly committed to maritime development and capacity building. So we should know. And we have always made ourselves available to the Rivers State government to work with this Rivers State government, to partner with them to ensure that there is proper maritime development in the state. So if there's a committee like that, I don't know about it. But I'm even saying that it is being late in the day. We should have gone beyond this level way back, because a state like Akwa Ibom State has created a mystery way back. Lagos State has been, in the front burner of maritime development since they've been. Now, how many trawlers does Rivers State government have that is into shipping, to harness even the shipping, the aquatic features of the state, aquatic potentials? So Rivers State is mainly thriving on oil and gas, which is very risky. Very, very risky. As I said, the oil and gas itself has potential to devastate the environment. But if we develop the maritime space, okay, benefits from different angles will be occurring. So if the state would find it financially too burdensome or cumbersome to create a ministry right now. It should at least immediately create that ministry. And I say that in that a committee, that committee should be a working committee, should be funded, should comprise of at least somebody from the academia, somebody from the civil society, for example, an NGO, like those of us who are in capacity building, should comprise. You have a civil servant, then you should have people who are already operating in the industry players, experienced hands that can synergize with the federal government and with foreign shipping companies and with foreign agencies, do all of these things to be able to harness and trickle down the benefits of the maritime sector. If not, the state will continue floating. Anytime there is a bombing of oil pipelines, the state will go down. As the ministry, as the Shell and Ajip and all of these companies are running out of River State and going to Lagos, there will be more unemployment. So what the state need to do is to take advantage of its marine ambience, build its economy around the marine ambience, think less of oil and gas. Oil and gas will deplete. Oil and gas is causing more crisis all over the world. So let us deal more with this maritime development and also deal with the issue of piracy. Because one of the problems we will have when we begin to develop the blue economy in River State is the problem of piracy, where the ex-militants or the militants or whoever they may be will come up again and try to seize ship, kidnap seafarers or ship owners and ship users, and that will also spell doom. So when the state is thinking of setting up a committee, the state should be thinking of how to deal with piracy in the Gulf of Guinea, how to deal with armed robbery at sea.
Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I'm speaking to the president of the Admiralty Lawyers Society of Nigeria, Barrister Angus Obinna Chukwuka. The recent creation of a new ministry by President Bola Tinubu, the Ministry of Marine and Deep Blue Sea, is one that has excited several Nigerians. So we're asking Barrister Angus Chukwuka, what should we begin to do in River State so as to tap into the huge revenue that is available in the blue economy following the creation of the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy? Well, according to Olisa Gbakoba, it said there's about 7 trillion naira that federal government could generate from the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy created by President Bola Tinubu. What about River State? River State is one of the 8 littoral states of the country, so which means we could develop our blue economy. So what should this government do, and how should its government tackle issues relating to the blue economy? And that's what we're looking at this morning on Point Blank, speaking to Barrister Angus Chukwuka. Now, we will throw open the telephone lines to take 1 or 2 calls, 070 50 79 1021, as well as 081 174 31021. And those are the numbers to call us up on. And let's hear your view. What do you think the River State government should begin to do to develop the blue economy? Would you agree with Barrister Angus Chukwuka that the River State should urgently create a ministry for blue economy and maritime? Do you also agree with Barrister Angus Chukwuka that we can begin to look at our laws and look at how this law can benefit following the creation of this ministry by President Bola Tinubu? Let's take this call. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Shego Olabia. Good morning to Barrister Angus Chukwuka. I think he's a PhD. My brother, thank you. Good morning. My name is Misha, and I'm calling you from Tanzania. Shego, yes, I want to agree with your guest completely on this. I want to join with your guest to call on the River State government to look into this direction. I want to believe that the Simliaye blueprint actually captures this area, and it does. And I think that just as a commissioner that are also doing something, I think that there should be also campaign and something that should be done in this direction. But Shego, let me think to the movie, just like your guest has said. the management of the inland waterway and the waterway in Nigeria is exclusive. The inland waterway is exclusive. It's an exclusive. However, the state government have been, this authority management has been delegated to the state government to manage. So let me call your attention to the law that is the same state before now. It's called the River State Waterways Authority Bill of 2017.
Okay.
Like your guest would suggest that a ministry, even though it's small, I would rather suggest an authority in this direction. And there was a law in this direction that was entered to be made. It is, like I said, it's referred to as the River State Waterways Authorities Law of 2017. I was part of that public hearing. Actually, I made a position paper in the House of Assembly during the public hearing on that bill. Unfortunately, that bill did not see the light of day. I want to encourage and call to your guests. So please see how you can reach out to the River State House of Assembly. And if they are listening as well, there will be need for us to revisit this law, revisit this bill, so that it can actually be knocked into law.
All right.
I know that
Misha, thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
because we don't have enough time. Again, Mishak has made a suggestion. Mishak is saying that, well, maybe a ministry may not work. Can we have an authority so that authority can also see what River State government and maybe the federal ministry can work together to see that we gain? And again, is it possible for the Admiralty Lawyer Society to also come up with a draft bill to the River State House of Assembly that can help River State to begin to look at the potentials in this sector? Have you done anything in that line?
Okay, this is coming well. We would look at it. We have not actually done any bill, even though we are aware of that public hearing. We are aware of that law. It's part of the problem we are having. The state is not proactive. A bill like that should have sailed through long time ago. So, but it did not, also because of the stance of the government. The government is not proactive. The government is laissez-faire when it comes to development of the maritime sector, and it is really, really a pain in the ass. So it is time for the government to begin to think outside the box. Outside the box, in this case, means outside oil and gas for me. So the state will have to revisit that bill. I can give you my word that we will do a letter to the Speaker of the House and a letter to the Governor when I have left the studio in the coming days, to see if we can do a revisitation of that law. At least the authority is an alternative. If we can't have a ministry, we can have an authority, but I think it is better to have a ministry. But in the interim, we could have an authority. But that authority, part of the challenge you had is when you have round posts in square holes. So we need to get real manpower personnel in any authority that we are constituting. If we constitute a set of people based on tribal sentiments who don't have the real capacity to synergize with the federal ministry or federal government and reach out to international and foreign shippers and agencies or foreign bodies to actually enhance the maritime potential of River State. River State will be where it is. So it is getting the real people, the real personnel, the people who have the capacity, who have the contact, who have the network, who have the passion and the zeal to actually translate that authority into maritime benefit. That is what matters.
But again, you see, again, I don't want to believe really that River State, because you talked about laissez-faire style, I don't want to believe it, because I did say to you that former Governor Simliaye promised to constitute a committee to look into the Deep Blue project. And I also know that there was a time NIMASA and the River State government promised to work with NIMASA to look into that sector. These are promises. This is even before the Tinubu administration. This is even before the creation of the federal ministry. So it might not be totally correct that River State government is not serious about it.
You are talking about promises. That's what you are talking about. You have not told me that this is what a committee set up by the River State government have done. These are the things they have done. It remains a promises until it has been actioned or activated into motions or operations. We as a society have actually tried in the past to reach out to the government to build capacity, to even do things together, and we didn't get a response. When a body that builds capacity, a body that have contacts, that is ready to put its contacts and capacity into effect to benefit the state, is saying that the state lacks the will to do its bidding to develop the maritime potentials of this, it should take us serious. So what we are doing is a clarion call. We are not trying to condemn the state. We are only calling on the state to sit up, to wake up, to follow the pattern of Akwa Ibom State, who had a ministry. Akwa Ibom has a ministry with staff. They are working day and night to actualize a deep sea port that is functional. Right. The River State should, at least in the minimum, should have an authority.
Okay, fantastic. Yes. Barrister Angus Chukwuka is the president of the Admiralty Lawyers Society of Nigeria, and he feels River State government needs to wake up, particularly following the creation of the new Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy by President Bola Tinubu. Barrister Angus Chukwuka feels there is so much that River State can benefit from this new ministry. It is projected that the ministry will be earning about 7 trillion naira annually. And so Barrister Angus Chukwuka feels that with the right setup, with the right legislation, and with the right political will, River State government could make so much money from the blue economy, and also it could be a source of employment for young people in River State. Do you think so? We'll just take about 2 calls. We have just 4 minutes more. 07050791021 and 08117431021. Let's take 2 calls now. Hello, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. This is Point Blank.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Shegun.
Good morning.
You for this
thank you so much. Yeah.
I have been shouting for how many God
Sorry,
knows.
Tell us your name, sir. Tell us your name, sir.
On this issue. Now, for instance, we have 2 ports here, One and Port Harcourt Port. Our sons were involved in all these things. One that's the Minister of Transport, another one in the matter. They have refused to do anything about it. You can see how wicked some human beings can be. The question you asked the gentleman there, whether he has done something formal to the government of River State, is very apt. You should do something about it. You yourself, the resource person, you talk about the Onne Port and the Port Harcourt Port. Why don't you make a proposal to River State government on this issue? Well, God bless you for this program, please.
Well, thank you so much, and we appreciate that. Let's take one more. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. This is Point Blank. All right, we lost that. Let's take another one. The number is 07050791021 and 08117431021. Good morning. And
good morning, Barrister Shegun.
Okay, my name is Shegun. Barrister Angus.
Barrister Chukwuka.
Okay, thank you so much. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Chief Comrade Embre.
Thank you so much.
I think first in the studio, Barrister Chukwuka, you have really done a great job in River State. I have been on this issue for a very long time, but I don't know. The government of River State never wants to hear all those words. I think if you look at Akwa Ibom today, they are striving on the blue and sea economic. And also, if you look at Lagos State, when the president right now was a governor, he looked at the DC and he strived on it. Till today, Lagos Seaport is booming. And that is a kind of thing that a governor should be able to think concerning his state. It's not about oil. At the end of the month, run down to Abuja. It doesn't help anything. If today there is oil where being blown, you see that the economy has dropped.
Okay.
But I want to appeal to the governor of River State. Let him not look towards the south. Let him look at the blue and
the Mr. Hendricks, I'm sorry. The line is so bad, but again, thank you so much. I think you've made your point clearly. So, Barrister Angus Chukwuka, is it too late for us? And you have said that one of the things government should do is create a ministry. Somebody said, well, perhaps an authority. You've also advised the Rivers State House of Assembly to begin to look at laws surrounding the blue economy.
Yes.
But again, the governor is planning to celebrate 100 days in office. Is there a way we can begin to even work in synergy with the federal ministry? 60 seconds.
Immediately, the state should create an authority. At least it will start with a bill. So that bill that didn't see the light of the day should be dusted from the bin and passed, so that at least the people around the sea can begin to see life. There should be an authority that should begin to oversee the activities of maritime in the state, take advantage of the maritime potentials of River State. So it will involve the River State House of Assembly. It will involve the governor of the state. It will involve everyone. The militants and the ex-militants and whoever they are should please stay out of piracy, should understand that if we get it wrong in this blue economy, then the state has failed for all times.
Okay. Thank you so much. And Barrister Angus Chukwuka is the president of the Admiralty Lawyers Society of Nigeria. We must thank you so much for coming to discuss with us the potentials in the blue and marine economy for River State and what River State government must begin to do following the creation of the new ministry by President Bola Tinubu, the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. Once again, thank you so much, Barrister Angus Chukwuka.
I appreciate it, sir.
It's been Point Blank this Saturday. We do hope you enjoyed both the first and the second leg of the show. And we apologize for the little break. It was due to some network issues. And we promise you to be back next Saturday on the station, Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. And this week's edition of Point Blank came to you from RGI.